In this video, we're going to learn about proportions. Two quantities are proportional if they have a constant rate or ratio. So basically what a proportion is when you're comparing two rates or ratios and you're saying that they are equal to each other or that they are proportional to each other. Here's the first example that we're going to do. We're going to determine if each situation is proportional. So here's our question. 60 voted out of 100 and 84 voted out of 140. So I'm going to make two ratios. 60 voted out of 100, so the 60 who voted over the 100 in all. And we're going to see if that is equal to, over here, the 84 who voted as compared to the 140 in all. And if you've done one of the previous lessons, this is pretty similar to determining if these two ratios are equivalent. Another word for equivalent is proportional. And the way we solved them in that last video was we looked diagonally and we used cross multiplication. So I'm going to multiply 60 times 140, and then I'm going to look the other way at 100 times 84. And I'm going to determine if these two things are equivalent to each other. The first thing I need to figure out is what 60 times 140. So 60 times 140 is 8,400. 8,400. And I'm going to see if that's equal to 100 times 84. Now 100 times 84, I'm just going to add the two zeros from the 100, so 84, two zeros. And yes, those two are equal to each other. So that means, yes, they are proportional. This is just like when we determined if they are equivalent. Remember, you can't just have this answer, yes or no. You also need to have the work that goes along with it. Here's another kind of question that we might run into. We need to solve these proportions. So notice we have a variable here, c. So we're trying to figure out if the ratio 21 to 5, what do we need to put in for c so that it's some number over 7 and that these two things are proportional. Maybe we're mixing paint and we want to increase it, so instead of having 5 parts of something, we have 7 parts of something. So I'm going to look diagonally and I'm going to multiply. 21 times 7 is equal to 5 times c, or 5c. First thing that we need to do is figure out what's 21 times 7. 21 times 7 is 147. So I'm going to write that underneath here. Is equal to 5c. Now I need to get c, so it's all by itself, and the 5 is on the same side of the equal sign, and there's multiplication going on between these two, so the opposite of that is division. So that means I'm going to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 cancels out, so we're just left with the c is equal to whatever, remember you read this going down, whatever 147 divided by 5 is. So 147 divided by 5, 147 divided by 5 is equal to 29.4. So our answer is 29.4. And that's what we'd have to put in here for c in order to make these two ratios proportional to each other. So those are the two kinds of questions that you're going to see. You either need to solve proportions, so you're going to need to use a little bit of cross multiplication in algebra to solve for the variable, or you're going to have to determine if two ratios are proportional or not, and that's when you use cross multiplication and you see if they're equal. And remember, you need to have the work along with your answer.